your oracle of deplorables. We got a full house here. Christina Goodlander is with us. She anchors our DC dispatch. Right now, she's still out of town. She's joining us by video. She is the vice chair of the Republican Party of Washington, D.C. So, Christina, good to have you with us. In studio, the one and only Terry Gilberg, longtime media personality, TV, radio, did it all. Terry, we missed you last week. Great to have you back.
Nice to be here.
Okay.
And everything looks great, and we've got the warmth look here because we're all tight.
Yeah.
It's very
plugged
tight.
in.
But I did take your advice and somewhat clean my desk.
I've noticed.
Somewhat.
Yeah, I've noticed. We got all the gizmos and gadgets.
We got the gizmos.
But they're allowed.
Yes, they're allowed. But I did get the stuff off and I will get the stuff behind us too. So I thought you'd be very proud of me today. Actually,
I'll get out the pledge.
Wiped it down. I actually got that today.
You got the pledge.
Just for you, because I knew you were coming.
Thank you.
You gave me good advice on that. But I didn't get rid of my Penguins hockey puck, Dan. I still have that. And of course,
love it.
Back of American Spirit Blue. If things go south, I've always got this here, even though I quit smoking, but you never know what happens, right?
John, you're running for an office at DC, and you have a Penguins hockey puck on your desk.
Come on, I got to get ready. I got to.
Yeah, you probably. Christine online won for you. She'd probably like get rid of that Penguins hockey puck while you're running for office in DC.
God, let's get the Capitals puck. You're right. It's a good paperweight. Also, Myra. How do I say your name again?
Maria.
It's 5 weeks later.
Rhymes with how are you?
How are you? Maria is with us. Maria Pickering is a longtime GOP activist here, so it's good to have you. And of course, our tradition after this is to go to breakfast and leave immediately, so we don't get caught in between breakfast and lunch at the I Street Grill, which has happened to me twice. So as soon as it's over, we got to go. My son's joining us, so you'll get a chance to meet him. But look, it's good to have all you here. Let's start with Jett. Jett, we met at one of our events the first time when you were getting signatures. You're running for council Ward 1, Adams, which is Adams Morgan area, and I really appreciate your stepping up.
Thank you.
And trying to get this done.
Thank you.
Give our audience a little bit of sense out there campaigning as a Republican for city council.
Yeah.
And obviously you have nobody to fight with on the ballot, so you're going to be the nominee. All that's good. But tell us a little about when you introduce yourself as a Republican candidate, what people say.
You know what? They're actually very surprised. And, in DC, of course, it's an uphill battle, but we're here to give them another option. Right now, we know it's about a 90% to 5%, but the biggest thing we can do is just give another option. And basically 800 MPD officers are out of a job, and we need to fill those vacancies. And all of my opponents do not want to fill a single one of those spaces. So I'm the only candidate that actually wants to fund our 800 budgeted police officers and get public safety really back into Ward 1 and to DC proper.
And so when you're your opposing candidates in the first ward, why don't they want to fund the police? Why don't they want cops to help keep them safe?
You know what? They villainize.
What is the psychology behind that?
I don't know why they villainize the MPD so much. We have members of the LGBT community, the African American community, the Hispanic, Latino community. We have people from around the world. I met a Brazilian police officer. I met a Colombian police officer. And for some reason, we are villainizing the MPD. They are some of the most highly trained police officers that we have in this country. And we are down 800 officers, and none of my opponents want to add a single one of those officers back. And I just don't understand, because public safety is everyone's main concern when I knock on doors. I just don't get it.
Terry, weigh in here. What is going on?
It seems to me that they've got their heels sunk in on defund the police. I mean, and why? Maybe they're looking around and saying, we've got National Guard. What do we need police for? Maybe that's the psychology. I don't know. It's dumb, but they're still into that, I guess, mantra of defund the police. And you say fund the police, as I do.
It's kind of simple. It's kind of common sense if you think about it. The first people you call when you're in trouble or need is the police officers.
For sure.
I don't know why we're villainizing them in DC. Of course, we do have the National Guard. They won't be here forever. But when they do leave, there's going to be a big vacuum, and we need to make sure that we're ready for that.
Is there more of a vacuum in Mount Pleasant and Morgan Adams.
So basically,
Adams Morgan.
yeah, same thing. Yeah.
Adams Morgan.
So basically, back in the old days, you'd have police walk in the beat. You know who you are. You know, oh, this is officer so and so. Right now, you don't see that because they're so spread so thin that it's just you don't see police officers on the beat. We need to bring that back to DC where they're walking the beat, they're driving around, they're showing their presence because that will deter crime.
Well, there are some neighborhoods where they walk the beat or they ride their bicycles, but it's not as thorough as it could be. And yesterday, I live in Tenley Circle. I met someone for coffee up in Tenley Circle, and we did have 2 police cars out in front of the Panera and the Chick-fil-A there, but that's because of the recent shooting at the high school. So they're making a show of having a presence, and these policemen were standing outside of their cars. And the police, as you accurately point out, we have the best trained police force in the world.
No question.
Here in Washington, D.C. These are people who do God's work. They are smart. They are sharp. They are well trained, and they are more than willing to step up and protect our communities. And when you attend advisory neighborhood commission meetings, usually the first agenda item is a report from the local police on what's happening, what they are doing to deter crime in the neighborhood. And it's different in different neighborhoods, but I agree with you 100%. We need to fully fund our police force because these are the troops on the ground. And even though we as the district have different law enforcement entities, we've got the National Guard, who are wonderful. And every time I see a group of them, I thank them personally. But we also have the Capitol Police, the Uniformed Secret Service, the Park Police. Exactly. We have a number of different law enforcement entities who have their own special missions here. But they work with the police, and their mission is to work with the Metropolitan Police Department to keep everybody safe. And I don't know if you all recall the Navy Yard shooting some years ago. Well, after that, then Chief of Police Kathy Lanier had a follow-up and an investigation, and one of the findings and recommendations was that our police force cooperate more closely with the other law enforcement entities.
Well, but that's what Trump did when he came in the second time. That's the first thing he did. Was we have 4 entities that are all disconnected. We need to connect them together. But when you mention how great the police are here, my son Joe, who some of you know, pitches for Maryland. So when he came home over the holiday, over Christmas, and of course he's home now. He's doing rehab because he was hurt this season. We're like, hey, baseball will come to an end. Hopefully get drafted, but everybody's career comes to an end. What are you thinking about doing? He says, well, I've already reached out to them. I'm going to be a DC cop.
That's awesome.
And Mom was like, what? He's like, no. You already reached out? Oh, yeah, I already called the recruiting coordinator. And we're like, and Mom was like, well, if you want to be a cop, you don't have to go to D.C. He said, no, I'm going to be a D.C. cop. She's like, why? She says, because if I'm going to do this, I'm going to protect the nation's capital. And every time I see an officer here, like, I want to be like that. I want to do what they do because they're the best I've ever seen. Kid's 22 years old. So when you say we got the best police force in the country, we do. We do.
Yes.
We do. Absolutely.
And now there's one more. Your son.
Well, that's what he's saying. Things change, but he'll have his master's. And so when he called the recruiting person, they were salivating. They're like, oh, you get a bonus. Then you have a master's degree. You'll be a detective in 24 months. You'll get a shield.
Right.
There, because you have an advanced degree in, I guess, criminal justice is his major.
Yeah. So, John, one of the biggest things that I want to do is, as Ward 1 City Council members, I want to introduce a bill my first week in office that actually increases the compensation packages for our police officers. We have to increase the bonuses. Right now, our retention rate is terrible. We're losing too many police officers. They're doing other jobs. They're being villainized. They just don't get the respect that they used to get, and we need to fix that.
Get the respect.
Yes.
That's even.
And they need their supplies and equipment. And we're not just down 800 officers. They don't have enough vehicles. They don't have enough computers. They don't have the tools that they need to do their job. And that's a direct consequence of our DC council
Yes.
and their defund the police nonsense.
Yes, you're 100% right, Christina. We need to get them better cars, better equipment. They're already the most highly trained. They're the most highly diverse out there. We just got to get them those officers to fill the gap, because if we have budgeted for 800, we need to fill those.
What kind of objections do you get from the Democrats when you say, let's fill these positions? And to Christina's point, more vehicles, more computers, more equipment, more hands-on stuff that they need. What do they say?
Every single person I speak with, and I knock on doors every weekend around DC, every single person I speak with, their number one concern is public safety. The people want to hire the police officers. It's the politicians that, for some reason, this large defund the police movement is affecting them in DC.
So you do think it's part of their mindset?
It's a part of I don't know if it's part of the leftist plan or what have you, but basically they just want to keep defunding the police, and we just cannot do that.
Yeah, somehow they think that it's like when they walk around. I told this story a week ago when I go up the street and they have these shirts on that say "Free DC,"
right?
And I'm like, "Free DC from what? What are you freeing it from?" Let's see. Crime is down since Trump's been here. Violent crime down 35%. Murders down 37%. Carjackings down 48%. What? Cleanliness is up. Safety is up. What do you want to free us from?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, I don't even understand what this means, but that's the mentality. Well, we got to get rid of the National Guard.
It's a mental thing.
Everybody I talk to says there's nobody that wants to get rid of the National Guard that actually is a resident here. It's the people that come from Northern Virginia with 2 masks on, coming out of their gated community in the metro, behind their wine and cheese and caviar. They're the ones who want to get rid of the National Guard, not the people that live here.
Not the residents.
Yes. I actually speak to the National Guard every time they pass me. And I say, can you tell me, how many times have you administered Narcan to someone who's overdosing? They say, you know what? About 30 since we started.
Really?
And that's just in my ward. So people don't, and those stats don't get really reported. They're not only giving people Narcan who are overdosing on opioids, but they're also talking people off bridges, breaking up fights, de-escalating issues. So they're saving so many lives that people don't really factor in. You know what I mean? And it's really terrible that they're also being villainized in this beautiful city.
Not to mention when they just walk around, let's say they're near a metro stop or they're downtown or in Chinatown, there's a presence there of shape up folks, all folks. And when I go by, I go, and they love that double thumbs up. And I congratulate them and I compliment them.
Right.
And they Others, when you're walking around, let's say a difficult neighborhood, you will see, but they smile. I've seen it. They smile.
Yes.
And if I'm around that, I go,
you got it.
Double thumbs up. They appreciate that.
Oh, and I thank them. I walk up to them and I say, thank you for being
here. To the extent that I can.
And
if I do too. If they're engaged, of course I don't. I just wink and give them the double thumbs up.
But I've seen groups of them around town where they're just standing around. I say, thank you for being here. Thank you for what you do. And I think they appreciate that.
Yes,
they do.
And, the people who live here, we want them here. Yeah. We appreciate them just as we appreciate our local police, because these guys these men and women do a tremendous job in all of our neighborhoods. They are the salt of the earth, and they should be supported.
Mary, that's so well said. It really, really is.
Well, and remember, we had the tragic shooting at Thanksgiving where one was tragically killed by a crazy person. So I think showing them appreciation is crucial. And another important thing that they're doing too is that they're in these neighborhoods, and that's freeing up our limited MPD resources to go into some of these other neighborhoods that have real violent crime issues.
Yeah, peace by strength is so important. When you see them walking around and you see them with their chest out, that's very, very important.
And
I think so.
They are.
Yes.
Yes, they are in great shape, and they are armed, and you don't want to mess with them.
No, you know.
And the fatigues send a message as well. It sends a message. Shape up. Don't think about doing that.
Yep.
We're here.
Yep.
It's kind of like in London when the cops would walk the beat with the baton.
In the old days.
In the olden days.
The Bobbies.
The Bobbies, yeah.
You're on the John Fredericks Media Network. We're at DC Dispatch, coming to you live from our nation's capital. We've got a full house today. Our panel, as always, Christina Goodlander. She is the vice chair of the DC GOP, doing a super job. She also runs my political operation. Brilliant lady. Thanks for joining us, Christina, as always. And thanks for jumping in. This is a little bit of a tough panel to get some time with, Christina. So you got to just jump in when you're remote. So thank you for doing that.
Thanks for having me, John.
Always, Christina. And also we are with Jett Jasper, who is our Republican candidate for council in Ward 1. That's the Adams Morgan area. And Mario, like Maria, is with us, Pickering, longtime DC operative and activist here, knows a lot about what's going on. Also we belong to the same church, St. Anne's in Tenleytown. And the one and only Terry Gilberg that raises the professionalism of the show, because she's a longtime TV and radio host. So thank you.
Well,
for
you're
joining
welcome.
us,
Yes,
Terry.
thank you for having me.
As always.
Thank you.
Why did you, look, this is an uphill battle, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Why are you running for council? What inspired you to get up one day and said, I think I'm going to go and get my signatures and run for council, Ward 1 City Council? What inspired that?
So, John, living in Ward 1, I'll tell you this. When I see the litter, when I see the graffiti, I know that there can be more done. And the leadership just isn't there. The basics of a politician is communication and problem solving. And if you don't got that, you don't got nothing. So I decided to plant my flag, plant my hat, and we're going to clean up Ward 1. So thank you again for having me. Really appreciate it.
What are you doing in your area, Ward 1, with regard to the, what do we call it, eaterias that are in the street?
The streeterias.
Streeterias. Right. I think it's awful. Who wants to anymore eat in the street in a cafe?
I'm against the streeteries. It makes it unfair for restaurants that have a second floor, and they don't get the opportunity to have the streeteries. Rats hang out there. The homeless hang out there. People defecate in there. It's not good, and I'm glad that we're getting rid of them slowly.
I agree with that. I think it's
there's a lot of streeterias in Mount
Yes,
Pleasant.
they're slowly taking
started with COVID, right?
Yeah.
Right.
To get them outside, and then they just kind of stayed there. And it is a rat haven.
Yes,
There's
it's a rat
no
haven.
doubt
And they're slowly getting rid of them. And I think it's unfair for the parking, for the restaurants that can't afford to do streeteries. And I just think it's a health issue, really, when it boils down to it.
Well, and even before the streeteries, the rats have been an issue in the city for a very, very long time. And it's a neighborhood by neighborhood situation.
Yes.
But if you keep a lid on the trash bins and don't have opportunities for rodents to come and find food, there will be fewer of them. But it's an issue all over town. John, I know you've addressed this subject before, and you have a cat who has credentials in this area. So, but it's a concern for citizens all over town.
Yes.
Cleanliness and picking things up. And in my ward, I live in Ward 3, and I usually carry in my purse or basket a little plastic bag, and I go to the bus stops. I pick up litter that people throw around the bus stops. And again, this current administration, under Mayor Bowser and the city council, they talk a good game about respecting the environment, but their actions don't match their words. Their actions don't match their words. So I want to say thank you to President Trump. As a DC resident, thank you, President Trump, for bringing people's attention to this, for trying to clean up our streets, clean up the trash on our highways, and clean up, the homeless encampments in the parks that have also attracted rodents because people throw trash there and live in
throw trash and get a cat.
So
we need more cats with credentials.
That's my guess. Just get a cat.
That needs to be in your campaign.
Cats, and we need to build a culture of taking responsibility. So all of these candidates for mayor and for DC council are proposing spending lots of money on fancy new trash cans that have solar panels to compact the trash and all that, which is nice and all, but if people don't actually throw their trash in those cans, if they are littering, if we have a culture that tolerates littering and kind of tolerates this disorder, kind of broken windows theory, then we won't clean up our city.
You're exactly right, Christina. And, I have some innovative solutions to actually get rid of these rats. Of course, the trash cans are one thing, but, we actually tiptoe around the issue of getting rid of the rats by giving them birth control.
Right.
Now, I think $30,000 was allotted by the city to try to fight that. Rat poison works. We have to use it. I know a lot of people are against it because of the different issues, but I propose baited stations where we do it in quadrants of DC. We do it a week at a time. We do a full court press on this rat issue. We get the trash multiple times that week, and we actually use rat poison, which are going to kill these rats. And now I'm an environmentalist. I love the environment. I love animals, but we have to get rid of these rats.
Except rats.
Yeah, exactly. With these new viruses, the
Real
Hunter
like
virus, all these other diseases, it's a
Well, this
public
comes from
safety.
rats.
It's a public health and
whole
safety
thing
issue.
on that
Yes.
cruise
The cruise ship
was
came from
rat
rats.
droppings.
Speaking
Yes.
of which, I understand that part of the rat birth control is a liquid serum that actually helps with the birth control.
Right.
What about that? Is that a poison pill? So
You know
to
what? I
speak,
can't speak too much
or
on
does
that.
it just slow the roll with regard to
No,
reproduction of rats?
It kills the male. The way I understand it is I can't believe we're talking about this, but it's one of
Right.
the issues.
It is.
It kills the male rat's reproductive sperm.
Okay.
So they're still going to do what rats do, which is, rat things, but they can't make babies. And then because the sperm doesn't work or whatever it
and
is,
then the population decreases.
eventually they die out.
and we kill the rest.
Yeah, they just die because they can't reproduce. It's not a bad concept. I don't think try everything, right? Bring in the cats, but that's and it's easy to eat and it doesn't kill them. But then when they mate with the female rats, the female rats don't get pregnant.
You're exactly right.
So then eventually the colony dies.
But I also like the baiting stations, don't you, Christina?
Yeah, let's get rid of the baiting stations.
Christina, don't you like those baiting stations? We were talking about that off camera.
Yeah, I would just like to do anything that would get rid of the rats. I lived in Ward 1 for a long time. I lived in Adams Morgan right after college, actually. And I loved it. But even back then, it was kind of rat central on 18th Street. Because you have people who litter, you have restaurants that don't properly take care of their cooking oil and their fry-later and all that stuff. It creates the conditions for the rats to flourish. No one's done anything since I've been in DC and probably long before my time as well. So I think the time now is to step up and do something about it.
This should be one of the things in the Republican platform that Christine and I have been talking about. Hey, talking about that, before we let Jett go here, we got to invite him to our big victory party, which is going to be so much fun. Jett, of course, Republican candidate for DC Council, Ward 1. Now, this is going to be on June 16th. If we can put up the graphic for that, Dan, that'd be fantastic. Now, Jett, you got to come. This is going to be so much fun. We have a packed house. It is at the iconic City Tavern. We understand that George Washington would go there to hang out, get a couple of beers, cool his jets, as they say.
I will be there. I will be there.
You got to be there. It's going to be fun. Tickets are only $50. Just go to makedcgreat.com. makedcgreat.com. We got great speakers. Congressman Morgan Griffith, U.S. Treasurer Brandon Beach, and longtime GOP activist and Trump Inner Circle advisor Corey Lewandowski is going to be with us. So you don't want to miss that. Put it on your calendar. June 16th, starting at 6 p.m. There's open bar. There's lots of food. If it's a John Fredericks, Christine Goodlander, and Fredericks event, you're going to have fun. That's our number one thing. Don't have fun. Don't do it. Life is too short. Open bar, plenty of food. We're going to have a great time. Just go to makedcgreat.com. Makedcgreat.com. VIP tickets. Well, if you want to do that, we'd really appreciate it. $200, but a regular ticket, only $50. Terry's going. Her husband's going. Myra's going. Thank you.
Double thumbs up.
I'll be there. Thank you again for having me.
Double thumbs up.
Yes, double thumbs.
Jett Jasper's going.
Yes.
So we're going to have a lot of fun there. Just go to makedcgreat.com. Makedcgreat.com. And Jett and I and Christina and Terry and all of us, Maria, we're all going to be working hard to change this city from the grassroots bottom up. Jett, I know you have to get back to work.
Yep, I got to get ready. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Thank you so much for
Good
having
to
me.
see
Yes,
you.
appreciate
Good
it.
luck.
Thank you for having me. Yes, thank
Jett,
you.
people want to follow your campaign,
Yes.
donate to you. Where do they go?
They can go to Jett Jasper for DCWard1.com, and we have a great Instagram as well, Jett Jasper for DC.
All right. Quick word from our sponsors. Your DC Dispatch will be back, minus Jett Jasper, who actually has a job. He's got to go to work.
Yep.
Stay with us.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack.
Awesome.
Live
Thank you,
thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul, built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday morning for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on the John Fredericks Radio Network.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free.
Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code GODZILLA to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping. What if those who were once called conspiracy theorists turn out to be right again? A new study by Korean doctors claimed that COVID vaccines raise the risk of 6 cancers, including lung, breast, and prostate. Researchers analyzed health records from more than 8.4 million adults between 2021 and 2023, and their findings were published in Biomarker Research, a respected scientific journal. Critics dismiss it, but the data raises concern that spike protein exposure may be tied to long-term health risks. And Dr. Peter McCullough has been aware of this since 2020, which is why he collaborated with the wellness company to create Ultimate Spike Detox, designed to help your body clear spike proteins, reduce inflammation, and support heart health. With natural ingredients like nattokinase, dandelion root, and bromelain, it is your daily proactive defense from a man-made virus. Don't wait until symptoms strike or something unexpected happens. Experience the only formula approved and used by Dr. McCullough, one of the top doctors who risked it all. Go to twc.health/Godzilla. That's twc.health/Godzilla and use promo code Godzilla to get 10% off plus free shipping.
John Fredericks.
It is the most egregious thing I've seen in a lifetime.
President Trump.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
When politics start getting wild,
they want to have every single thing that you don't want. Raise taxes, men and women's sports. They're going to open up their border.
Trump hits the speed dial.
Thank you for calling in on such short notice.
You came first, John.
Wake up with the John Fredericks Show weekday morning, 6 Eastern, 5 Central on JFMN.TV, the massive J-Fred Radio Network, and all across the socials.
You came first, John. Thank you very much, and you do a great job.
Don't touch that dial. You've found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle
handle the truth. And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Oh, you're back on DC Dispatch. I'm John Fredericks, your Godzilla of the truth in America. Great to have you with us, candidate, Ward 2 Chairman. Don't forget, go to makedcgreat.com. Buy our tickets there, makedcgreat.com. Also, with us, the Vice Chair of the DC GOP, Christina Goodlander, joining us remotely. And she also runs my political operation here in DC. And Terry Gilberg is with us, part of our great esteemed panel. Terry, long-term radio host and TV host, raising the specter of our professionalism, making sure we have a tight shot, managing my camera. Very good. Very good. You
up with people. That's what we need to do.
You're the best. You're in here. Clean the desk off and let's get this thing ship shape.
Yeah, the desk looks a lot cleaner, guys. Looking good.
Haya Maria is with us. And now that you say that, I got a quote in my mind, right? I have to say that every single time. And Maria Pickering is with us, and she, longtime GOP activist, former candidate for at-large DC Council. And also, you mind if I say this?
Yeah.
We also belong to the same church, St. Anne's Catholic Church.
That's right. Yes.
We met, I go Saturday night. I just got to give a shout out, Christina, to my church, St. Anne's, which I love. So guess what they did on Saturday night? Right. Guess what? Our priest played and had everybody sing as the final hymn. You know, you always have three hymns.
Oh, God bless America.
God bless America.
Yes. Monsignor is very patriotic. We did that at the 11 o'clock
Mass. You did that on the Sunday Mass as well? Wasn't that beautiful?
Yes, it
was. And what
a
surprise it was.
Yes.
I didn't expect that. And the final hymn is God Bless America and America the Beautiful.
Yes.
Right, one after the other. And they had the thing so people could read the words. Mm-hmm. What a beautiful way to end Mass.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
On Memorial Day weekend. That was just gorgeous.
Well, it was Memorial Day weekend and Pentecost. So, cause for celebration on many levels.
Yeah.
Another song I absolutely love, and it is appropriate for Mass as well, is the Battle Hymn of the Republic.
That's yes.
Good, yeah.
Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. I love that, especially as the last hymn of church, of Mass. Not just Mass, but any kind of church service.
Right. No doubt about it. But if you're a Catholic in D.C. and you're looking for a Catholic church, well, check out St. Anne's, which is in Tenleytown. And we take the red line there, a couple stops away, but really enjoy it. Fabulous church and happy that I'm a part of it there. Happy that we found it. Very, very happy. So, and I love Armand Sr. And the thing I love about it the best, no politics. Zero. Right? He doesn't get up there and talk about whatever, right? It's just preaching the gospel, which is why you go to church. So Pope might be woke, but Armand Sr. is just not. So that's all good. Okay, let's get to some of the top issues here, Christina Goodlander. Lay it out for us. You sent out this elaborate rundown of which I don't have it handy. So go ahead.
Well, okay. So I guess, do we want to talk a little bit about what's going on with some of the Democrat primaries?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have many of our weekly listeners know that we have a Democratic Socialist candidate who is running to be the DC version of Mamdani.
Or worse.
Janice, or worse. And actually, she was prominent before Mamdani was a thing. Janice Lewis George, who's currently the Ward 4 council member, who's running on a platform of socialism. She is up in the polls, unfortunately. There was a poll that came out last week that had her up 5 points that was done by CityCast DC, which is a new kind of media organization. And then she put out an internal poll from her campaign claiming, now take this with a grain of salt because you always have to take internal polling with a grain of salt, but she's claiming that she is up 14 points.
Not true.
I don't believe it.
No way. No way.
I believe
4
it.
to 5.
No, I believe it. I mean, I don't know if it's 14, but this is where the Democratic Party is, unfortunately. I think in DC, a majority of the Democrats have lost a sense of moderation. They've lost a sense of basic fiscal responsibility. Now, you do have some Democrats who have their hair on fire about this, and they're saying that some of Janice's policy proposals could risk DC's home rule because she basically wants to cannibalize our police pension funds so that she can pay for these government-run housing developments, which sounds very Soviet to me. And if she does that, I mean, that could bankrupt our city. That could put us in serious financial trouble. And that actually could lead to the federal government taking our fiscal car keys away again, like they did in the 90s.
Well, listen, if she becomes mayor, and I don't think she is, I still think McDuffie is going to win. I'm going to hold to that. The business community, I mean, he's a liberal, but he's not crazy, right? So he'll,
more sensible.
He's more sensible. But I'll just tell you guys now, I'll say it again. If the Republicans hold the House, and I think they are, I'm the only guy that's in the country that's saying
I'm with you. I'm a little shaky on it, but I'm
going to hold the House. They're easily going to hold the Senate. If she wins and she starts doing this crazy stuff, and it's like, what's your campaign platform? Stop Trump? Stop him from what? Cleaning up the city? I mean, what are you going to stop him from? They will pull home rule. I have no question in my mind, because I don't think Trump at that point is not going to care, right?
No.
And he'll have the votes in the House, and he'll have the votes probably in the Senate, and so that'll be it'll be like you say, back to 1990.
Yeah. One of the things about Janice that really caught my eye, in addition to what you just said, John, is that she is for this audience of pay equity fund in education. She believes that every single person that works in early child education should be paid like a regular school teacher. Early child education. That means before
That's daycare.
It's daycare, any kind of Head Start even. And I looked it up. A baby right out of the womb can go into early child education, which is daycare. And the teachers there that are changing diapers would be paid about $40,000 a year or better, because regular school teachers in this town can be paid upwards over six figures, up and over six figures.
And they should be if they're good.
If they're good.
If they're good.
They should be.
But okay, now we're going to pay a babysitter.
That's crazy.
That kind of money.
And Janice is also saying that there should be free child care for all. So I don't see how the math works, because again,
it doesn't work. That's the whole point. It does not.
As Margaret Thatcher said, the problem with socialism is you run out of other people's money.
And she can't call up Kathy Hochul the way Mandami did and threaten her to give him the $9 billion, or he would back somebody else running in a primary against her. So she can't do that.
Well,
So
look,
there's nowhere for them to get the money. They have to balance the budget.
I was all for Head Start, and I still am for the old-fashioned Head Start, to give kids a head start before they enter kindergarten. But this idea of daycare, this idea of calling someone who is literally babysitting early child educator and giving them $60,000, $70,000 a year is mind-boggling.
Changing diapers.
Mind-boggling.
It's crazy.
She's all about it.
That's just one of her nutbag proposals. I don't know what she's going to do, but this whole thing, free DC, stop Trump, get rid of the National Guard. You're not going to get rid of the National Guard. Let's talk about, Christina, one of the things you put in the rundown, which I love because I'm such a believer. I did a column on it. You can find it on DC Dispatch. Go to dcdispatch.com. Is President Trump's beautification of the city.
Yes.
And let's start with the Meridian Fountain. You've been here a long time.
I've been here a long time.
Tell us about the difference now in the Meridian Fountain.
Well, the Meridian Hill Park is up 16th Street from the White House. And when the city was originally laid out, the 16th Street was supposed to be the prime meridian before the Brits took it away. If you look at the original design, it was a square consistent with Masonic principles. And Meridian Hill Park is just a couple of miles up the road from the White House. It's a gorgeous park. It has these beautiful fountains that until recently were empty of water and derelict, neglected. And President Trump has cleaned up this park, has restored the fountains in Meridian Hill Park. And in other parks around the city, we have a lot of beautiful park areas. Every district resident lives within a quarter mile of a park. So we are surrounded by beauty in the capital city. But unfortunately, under previous local administrations and the Democrat administration under Mr. Biden, they were neglected.
Disrepair.
It was in disrepair. There was trash in the roads. There was trash in these fountains. Now the fountains are working. People are getting back to the parks to enjoy the parks as they should. Citizens enjoying the parks instead of homeless people and drug addicts, wiping themselves out in these places that should be for the enjoyment of everybody who lives here and people who come to visit. We have people from all over the country and all over the world coming to Washington in this celebratory year.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, we thank President Trump for cleaning up the fountains, for cleaning up the reflecting pool, and for making our city the beautiful place that the founders and the original designers intended.
Speaking of fountains, have you seen the beautification on DuPont Circle's
Unbelievable.
fountain?
Unbelievable.
Speaking of, and to your national audience, John, those folks that are coming here, when you come here for the 250th, take a look, wander through DuPont Circle.
It's gorgeous.
It's
now.
a gorgeous
it is
fountain
now.
now.
Beautiful, yes.
The homeless is out, the trash is out, graffiti is taken care of. It's a wonderful, wonderful circle. And
I'm going to put in a plug for Meridian Hill Park. It's absolutely stunning. It is the longest cascading fountain in North America. I lived a few blocks from there right out of college. And I just remember the first time I saw it being blown away just by how majestic it was. There's a statue of Joan of Arc who's very cool, but you can see the Washington Monument. You can kind of look over the city from on high, and this is something that President Trump has done that's mostly benefited local residents. But for those who are coming to visit DC, come check out Meridian Hill Park
and DuPont Circle and other circles. Because there's so many beautiful fountains, and even if a circle doesn't have a fountain, the parks are gorgeous now. Thank goodness. It's our birthday. We better be gorgeous on our birthday.
Why isn't this being celebrated by the Democrats? Like, why don't you want your city to be repaired, clean, and beautiful? Why aren't they celebrating this? I mean, this is Christina. I cannot figure out our opponents because we all live here. This is our home.
Yes.
Right? This is where we go to dinner, where we go out, where we go to the grocery store. This is our home. And President Trump is obsessed with making it clean, safe, and beautiful. Why are our opponents opposed to this? How could you be opposed to not fixing the Meridian Fountain?
Exactly.
Look, if you don't love the American project, then you don't love America's capital.
They're stuck in the negative. They're stuck in the defund the police. They're stuck in the graffiti. They're stuck in the homelessness. They're stuck in the violence. They're stuck in the drug mentality. That's why. And they've sunk their heels in. This is what they want because it is the opposite of what Republicans want. It's the opposite of what this administration wants. So that's their stand, to be polar opposite of what's actually going on, rather than saying, hey, and to Mayor Bowser's credit, Mario Bowser, she got on board with President Trump very early on in this second administration, Trump 2.0, and said, Mr. President, you are right. You are right about crime. I am going to help you with it. Boy, did that go over well. But not for the way progressives, Mario Bowser.
No, they wanted to impeach her.
I know they did. And if they could only see that if they followed her lead, they might win the mayorship.
Yeah.
They want to be in the negative. They want to be in the past. They want to be in the violence. They want to be in fists to the man. They want to be anti-Trump. People say, I don't get it. I get it. That's what they want.
They want us to accept decline. They want us to accept this chaos and disorder as inevitable. But as we've seen, decline is a choice and decay is a choice. And we don't have to live that way. And we don't have to have our capital city be that way. We can have a beautiful capital city that befits a great nation.
And the irony is they're progressive. They're regressive. That's this isn't progressive when you're stuck in the past.
Beautification is a choice. Choosing to live in a safe and a beautiful community is a choice. So
decay is a choice.
Decay is a choice. Do we want decay or do we want a beautiful, safe city? It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. You're right.
It sounds like you all read my column on DC Dispatch, because that's exactly what I said. Decay is a choice. Mm-hmm. And they've made the choice to just decay the city. And you got the same thing going on with the pipes. which is another issue. I don't know if that's, I didn't see that in a rundown today, but like, do you trust the water here?
Not
Do you
really,
drink tap water?
although in my building, we repiped the building. So I trust that better.
I don't trust it.
Yeah, I trust that
Do
better.
you trust it?
I filter my water. I have a water. I have a filter. I filter the water. I must say, I've lived here for half a century, and it hasn't killed me yet.
Yeah, but now they got all this, raw sewage going.
But we take
That's
precautions. We take precautions. We filter the water, and the lack of attention to infrastructure has been a hallmark of the local Democratic administrations.
Yeah, because they're running the city into the ground.
They're running the city into the ground.
They knew these pipes were going. They didn't do anything about it.
That's right. They didn't take care.
I don't know about the
They
water.
didn't take care of the infrastructure, and worse yet, we were talking about policing and early childhood education. Well, even through high school, our education, we are not serving our citizens well. We are not producing competent, well-educated graduates from our high schools. Many of our high school students are not performing at grade level in terms of reading and math. This is true at the 8th grade level. It's also true at the high school level. And yet we spend more per student than almost any other jurisdiction in the country. And now we've been outpaced by people like the Mississippi Miracle and states that have actually cleaned up their act when it comes to educating their children. And we are way down there at the bottom, despite spending money. So this argument that you need more money is a false argument.
When you're under Mississippi, and of course the Mississippi Miracle, my older son was part of that. He's now teaches at Arizona State University, but he was part of that program. And if you looked at what Mississippi did, and he was a graduate from Ole Miss. It's my oldest son, Jack, who runs our website. But he was part of that. And what they did is they had a program where they wanted the best teachers across the country. And so they paid them, you have to go through a program, you got paid for that. And then they put you in the most underperforming schools. And then if you stayed there a certain amount of time, you got a bonus. But you had to live there. You had to live in the community. That was the thing. You had to get an apartment or buy a home. You had to live there. And that's how they turned it around. We could do the same thing here.
I would hope so.
We could do the same thing.
I would hope so, because we have students who are immigrants who've been here for a number of years who don't speak English, and yet teachers in some of these classrooms are doubled up, allegedly to help the students who are not English speakers.
Right.
I'm sorry, kids are smart, and kids are quick to learn second languages. I'm an example of that. And you can learn a second language very quickly if there are incentives to do it. And yet we're spending all of this money and all of these resources and not producing results. We as taxpayers are not getting a return on our investment in education.
Well, if you're spending money on someone to change a diaper, $60,000, $70,000 a year. Of course, we're not going to.
Terry's back on the top.
Of course, we are not going to have good students in the classroom.